At the start of the film, we see two kids. The boy was named Tony, who was doing a mission at this time because they were spy kids. Spy means spy children, who secretly do missions with everyone, and they are also called secret agents. Now, after facing a lot of difficulties here, they feel that we will not be able to solve this mission. The story comes from here 24 hours ago, when they were at their home and Tony steals some cards from a small locker. Now, Tony's dad came here, who was also a spy, but he always kept his children away from gadgets, means the mechanical, electronic tools, device machines, etc. His mom was also a spy. His mom and dad knew that we are spies, so anyone could enter our gadgets and can also hack them while stealing cards. Now, today is their anniversary. That's why the two decide that we will tell our children today that we are spies, because the children did not know this, but even after a lot of courage, they could not tell this to their children. After this, they leave for their office. The senior agent gives them a mission that some strangers have entered their office. Now they have gone to the main system server room. Today's mission is to kill those strangers. Now here Tony's dad had a watch in which there was such an access control that he could enter any technology with the help of it. Then no matter what the place in the world is and what kind of code is there, they could crack it and break it, and they could also decode it and finish it while changing it. Now, the secret code that Tony's dad had, its name was Armageddon. They went there as spies and fought with their skills and killed 4 people, but then they remembered that these were 5 people. So where did the 5th go? They had to think that a robot comes there by breaking the roof from above. This robot actually come here to steal Tony's dad's watch, in which there was Armageddon code. By stealing it, it runs away from there. In school, Tony plays a great match and wins, where he got control of the first stage of every game. Means whenever a new game comes, Tony will play the first stage of it first. Now, here in the tab, Tony introduces all the children to a game maker named King, who used to make very great difficult games. Recently, he made a good game named High Score and the robot who stole Tony's dad's watch. It gives that watch to King because King had told it to do this, but when King checks the watch, he finds out that this watch is still incomplete. Because right now, there is no half code of Armageddon in it, but it is somewhere else. Tony and his sister decide that we will play the game at 12 o'clock in the night. So a little before 12 o'clock, they went to the TV room with great difficulty. They quietly sit there and wait for 12 o'clock. Tony's mum was explaining to her husband that since the watch has been stolen, so now we do this, that we delete his Armageddon code, but his husband clearly refuses, and the head of the agents who was on the video call at the time, he also stopped doing this. Because he says it is a very important code, with the help of it, we get help for a lot of missions on it. Tony's mum replies, fine, but if that code is in the wrong hands, that person can enter every technology and destroy the world. Anyone can easily misuse it. But when her husband refused to believe this, she also makes him conscious, and was about to delete the code through his fingerprints. That's when Tony logged into the King's game on his home system. Means started playing, with which it happened that the King came to know about it, and he hacked that code by keeping the system under his control. After doing this, he shut down the whole system. With this, the children's game also stopped. Seeing this, the children thought that maybe there is some problem in the game, so we should leave. That's why they came to their room from there. By then, Tony's dad was also conscious. His mom says, I think the code has been deleted, but Tony's dad gets worried and says no, the code has not been deleted, but has been hacked. He thinks that this may be done by the kids, so he goes to their room and checks, but the children had slept by then. The next day, it was found that the King has hacked all the systems of the half-world. Means if you want to use any technology or log in to your system, First, you have to play the King's High Score game. You have to pass the first level of it. Only then you can do this. These four were talking to each other about this. That's when the King's Game's cartoon character entered his house with his weapons and attacks here, but Tony's parents started facing them. They kick them and destroy them while hitting legs. Meanwhile, Tony's sister opens the door and they come out. Their mother says, "We are going on a mission from here and are sending you to a safe house, which is a safe place for you in every way." Saying this, their parents opened the door of the secret place in the basement. When they all went inside, there were different types of gadgets lying there, including autobikes, autocars, which looked like a lot of modern technology, and they run automatically on its own as soon as it was in control. Now the children sit in a small autocar. His mom explains that until we return from the mission, you have to stay there and have to protect the special thing there. You have no danger there. I will also keep tracking your location again and again to check where you are at this time. Saying this, Tony's sister presses the button and these kids left from here. Then his mum and dad were also coming from behind the car. Now, because the cartoons of the game had seen the children's autocar, that's why they follow them. In these cartoons, a lot of skeletons were also included. Now the car was moving quite fast here. Tony's sister was controlling the car's system and driving it with great fun. Then finally, after tricking all the cartoons, they reach the place where the safe house is. As they go to the door, they tell their name. The door opens as they tell. Coming inside, they are quite stunned to see the strange view here. Here, they also found out that their parents are also spies, which they have kept hidden till today because their mom's 3D video was going on there. When they went further inside, there were such different things there. They got a room that was a training room, so the children train how to become better spies. Then, Tony's parents were kidnapped by the king and imprisoned in their own building. The place was like a jail, but everything in the jail was like a game, means if you are sitting on something or touching it, they will move from there and roam around you like 3D things. Now the king came in front of them and says, while telling them about himself, "Your watch has come to me, but the Armageddon code is incomplete in it, and now you tell me half the code. After this, I will let you go from here," but they both clearly refuse for this. On this, the king now challenges them to fight and says, "If you win this fight, then I will let you go from here, but if you lose, then you will have to tell half the code." With which the sword fight started between them, but because this whole place was moving like 3D. So it was difficult for these two to stay in that place. That's why they lost this fight with the king. Now the king's eyes fall on Tony's mom's neck. She was wearing a necklace. Seeing this, the king came to know where their kids are, and half the code would be there where their kids are. On the other hand, the children were happy to see different gadgets here. They also find the suits of the spy kids here, which they had also worn. Now, in search of more gadgets, you will find such a book in which the principles of the spy kids were written. One of them was that a good spy always lies, but Tony's sister doesn't like these things. She says no, lying is wrong, a good spy can never lie. Now, some people came here that was actually the group of agents. They also tell about themselves here, but because the children were scared, they don't open the door. On this, the agents broke the door and came inside. That's why now both the children started bothering them in different ways. They even kill the agents with the help of gadgets. But in a little while, the children found out that they are really agents who had come to take these two children to their base. So now, the children come to the base with them. They stand outside and see a special kind of gadget, which could also walk like a ship in the water and could also fly in the air like a plane. Now the children met the head of the agents who says, "I called you here because we are not able to log into our system. The reason is that there is a King's High Score game going on, which we are not able to cross." Now the children started playing that game, and in the first time, they cross this level, with which all the agents log into their system immediately. Now Tony's sister remembered that her mother had told her that we had to stay in the safe house because we had to take care of the important things there. Tony's sister always used to talk to her gadget, and today she was also telling all this to the gadget. Now the gadget takes out the second part of Armageddon code from itself, and they had to take care of the same thing. Seeing this, the head of the agent says, "You are children, so you can't take care of it. Give it to me, I will take good care of it." But the next moment, the cartoon characters of the King's Game, who also had creatures this time, attack here. They had wreaked havoc here and started breaking everywhere, and they also started killing the agents. Many agents were killed after being hunted, and the biggest problem, they had also taken half the code of Armageddon. Seeing this, Tony and his sister got angry, and they think that those agents will do nothing. Now we have to do something with this. They sit in the gadget standing outside. They first made it a boat and ran it in the water, then made it a plane and started flying in the air, and they start following those cartoons. After this, they came near the king's palace. First, they think that there is a wall in front, but soon they found out that it was a 3D wall and they can enter inside while crossing it. Tony's mother was trying to break the jail again and again, and was also telling her husband that if you had made the code of Armageddon, then you can break it. You can decode it and finish it, so do it. On it, her husband tells that the real thing is that day when we were on a mission, I got the formula of Armageddon. I stole that formula and brought it home. I tried many times but could never complete it. But one day, Tony came to the room and he somehow completed the formula, and this code was completely ready. So I did not make it alone. Then how can I break it or decode it? Now they found out that in front of whom Tony's dad had said all this was not his wife. In fact, it was King who took the form of his wife and made him say all these things. Now he brings the real Tony's mother here, whom he had taken from here, and says it means now I have nothing to do with you but with your kids. Now the children also come to this palace, and roaming around, there were also cartoons and creatures of games here. Seeing them, they hid behind the pillar, but then the creatures hear their voice, and they broke the pillar and started attacking them. Seeing this, Tony took his sister and jumped off the bridge, but before falling down, they hung there with the help of the gadget. After it, he comes up and safely comes to their parents. Their parents become happy to see them as spy kids, and also from this that finally, our children have also come to know that we are also spies. Our children are no less than any hero who faced so many difficulties and finally entered the palace. Now, if they have to stop Armageddon's code from spreading all over the world, they will have to stop the king first. Here, Tony's mum and dad say, now we have to work like our first mission, which was our successful best mission. Tony's sister asked, what was so special about that mission? They say, years ago we stopped such a person who was going to destroy the whole world like King. We went to his base and destroyed there. Then killed his whole team. After doing this, we hacked his system and then finally destroyed the whole building. After this, teams of 2 members were made and left from there to stop the king. Tony and his sister came to the place where the main server system was kept. Tony says, if we change this system, then we will also break Armageddon's half code, with which the virus that King wants to spread all over the world will stop from spreading, and to do this, obviously, we have to log into it. For this, we have to play the King's Game. Now, although his sister forbade him from doing this, but finally, he puts the half Armageddon's code and log in to the game. But as this happens, the king came in front of them, who tells that this was all my plan. It was my own trap. I deliberately spread the news to spread virus everywhere so that everyone gets scared. And now, because Tony logged in here, So now Armageddon's code is complete, which King wanted. He also says the person whom your parents killed in their first mission was no one else but my dad, who wanted to bring change in the world. His plan was to fix the technology and to improve the people, but what did your parents do? Instead of giving them a chance, first they killed him, and on top of that, they destroyed everything. And now I will take revenge for that thing by spreading the virus all over the world in real, and if anyone uses the technology, will log in to their system. Before this, they have to play my high score game saying this: the king leaves in his 3D plane. In the meantime, his parents and others also came who were just watching him leave and didn't even have a chance to stop him on it. Tony's sister says no. Now we have a chance to stop him. He has gone away from this world. While in the game, he is still present. Let's go to the game and stop him there. If before that we won the game, he won't be able to do anything. After it, listening to Tony's sister, they enter the game and took the help of the robot and chose their own characters. First of all, they had to cross the first level, and this was a hard level. Because of this, they had to face a lot of difficulties, but the whole family fights while supporting each other, and finally, they cross that level and move forward. Here, Tony's sister had played well. That's why her suit changes into a grand suit, in which golden plates were attached. Now when they move forward, Tony goes to fight the king, while others fight with the king's monster robot. Here, a great fight breaks out between all of them, and they were dominant on the monster robots. There was a time when Tony's dad had killed him, but his daughter forbade him to do this, that please don't do this. Because of this, the monster robot begins to fall down, but on his daughter's request, her parents saved the robot and pulled it up. Now seeing this, the monster robot understood that this girl is nice. That's why it puts its sword in the ground and bowed down in front of her, means now it wouldn't harm anyone in the fight. Tony was losing badly to the king, and seeing this, his dad came to attack the king to help Tony. But seeing this, Tony forbids his dad to come and took a big hammer on himself that was coming to attack him, and fell down like this. All his powers were over, and he was almost dead. But then everyone remembered that Tony went to fight by saying, "I will play honestly without cheating and won't do anything wrong." Because of his honesty, he got well again, because the real principle of the game was honesty. He now got a new chance and a new power, using which he finally defeats the king. This made the king realize that I shouldn't have made such a mistake and shouldn't spread wrong things everywhere, because evil doesn't stay for long. That's why he stops the virus, which was going to spread all over the world. After this, they all come out of the game world and come back to the real world. Meanwhile, the team of agents comes here and tries to arrest the king. But seeing this, Tony and his sister stop the agents from doing this and start saying that we caught him, and now we will decide what to do about it. Tony's sister says we should leave him because he has realized his mistake, and it's possible that he will improve, and others too. With this, the decision was made that the king will be sent back to his game, and from now on, Tony and his sister are also a part of the team of agents. They are finally chosen for the Spy Kids. With this, the story of this film ends here.